Well, good evening and welcome, or good morning, depending on where you're tuning in from. Welcome to this countdown to MAWC 2022. I can't believe we're only, I think 4 weeks away from what will be, to me, the greatest world conference in our company's history. It's going to be phenomenal, as it's going to be a hybrid event. So we encourage anybody who can attend in person to join us in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, at the Broward Convention Center. It's a new venue. It's a new city. There's going to be new energy, a lot of new products and technology, and it's going to be really a great event. So we're looking forward to you to join us and us to come together for this World Conference. If you can't, of course, you have the ability of tuning in or connecting with us online, and it's going to be a very interactive, engaging, very valuable World Conference. So as you guys know, each week, this is the fourth week, one of a corporate team member hosts a discussion, a conversation with growing unfranchised owners, so you can learn from them what attending and having their team attend a world conference and or an international convention has meant to the growth of their business. And I think these sessions are very, very valuable. It is being recorded, so you can use the recorded sessions to watch with even prospects who you just showed the plan to, who are interested in the business. I think now one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, is having them attend the World Conference if they have a sincere interest in growing a business for themselves and their family. So my name is Andrew Weissman. I'm Vice President of Market America Worldwide and Shop.com, and also a very proud unfranchised owner. And tonight I have the privilege of spending some time, as you all do, have the privilege of spending time with two very special unfranchised owners. Two unfranchised owners who are growing, who are active, who are happy, who are healthy, and really doing a great job in impacting the growth of their business by helping other people succeed, which is the only way to succeed the way this business model is organized and structured. So I just want to quickly introduce, we have in Charlotte, North Carolina, we have Pam Valentine. She reached the professional coordinator level back in the latter part of August, right before the international convention. So it's great to have her on stage to recognize her for that achievement. And by the way, for those of you who are tuned in that don't know what a professional coordinator means, that means she has earned $4,500 to $7,500 US dollars in 4 weeks. So it's a significant amount of supplemental income that's happening. I know that's going to get even bigger as Pam continues to grow. We also have Tina Rose is coming to us just south of Boston in Massachusetts. It's a little warmer down here in Miami. Tina, we look forward to having you in Florida sometime soon. But Tina Rose is also doing a phenomenal job in growing her business. She, toward the end of December, she also reached the level of professional coordinator and is continuing to grow beyond that. So Pam and Tina, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to our community out there, a global community of entrepreneurs, and sharing your thoughts, your ideas, your suggestions, and your experiences as unfranchised owners.
Thank you so much for having us, Andrew.
Welcome.
Thank you. We're excited.
Yeah, by the way, thanks for the support, Pam and Tina, in the national championship game for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Go Dogs.
I had to say that.
That was a great game.
Yeah, cool deal. Well, first things first, we're going to spend about 30, 45 minutes, something like that. And we want to learn a little bit more about you and learn more about what leveraging the international convention, the world conferences has meant to the growth of your business. But first and foremost, I'll just start with Pam. Pam, talk to us a little bit about how you were introduced to the business. Because I think when people understand the process, even from the very beginning, when somebody's introduced, it's really, a lot of times it's, funny stories, it's very casual, sometimes it's very, just kind of happens, and I think it's a great way to learn by just being yourself, not being selfish, and exposing our great products and business. There's a lot of people out there that are looking to find a business plan that can create a supplemental income for their own personal, and financial, goals. So Pam, talk to us about how you were introduced to the business.
Absolutely. Well, the one key thing is you said, wanting to get your business further. I was looking, Andrew, I was out trying to find something that was going to give me hope in life. And so I actually was a referral to Elizabeth Weber. And so it was kind of a funny story because, Andrea, I was in a multi-level marketing business.
Mhm.
And I went to lunch with this guy that I wanted to recruit at lunch. And so he looked at me, he said, Pam, you will never make it in a one product company. And so he said, I want to introduce you to my friend Elizabeth. She owns an online shopping business and she teaches people how to make money. And I went, okay. And he called her right there. And so she said, well, come on out to the house. I'd love to meet you. And so when I went out to the house, I just fell in love with her passion. I didn't know much about the business, but she was passionate about the business. And so I was super excited after I left there. And I said, well, okay, what do I need to do next? Andrew, guess what she said?
Well, I know the answer, and it's for years. She said, you got to get a ticket to the next event, the next
Exactly.
major event.
Now, she was in semi-retirement, Andrew, but you know what got me super excited is that she didn't forget about the system. She knew what is important, and it's so duplicatable. The first thing, get a ticket to the conference, because if you want your business to grow, which we do, why would we get in business, right, Andrew?
Exactly,
If we didn't
exactly
want it to
right.
grow.
You know,
And that's
and
what you need to do next.
she continued, what you set in motion carries in motion. We always talk about leadership by example. She continues to do that. She doesn't need to do anything more ever again. And she has obviously a very significant supplemental income. But so she's, it's hard to, you can't really retire from the business, because why would you not want to positively impact people's lives on an ongoing basis? Because the business goes wherever you go, you know what I mean? So she just continues to do her thing. And she just texted me the other day. She's bringing, I think, she just sponsored, I think, 3 or 4 new people into the business recently. And of course, they're going to be coming to the World Conference at the end of February. But Pam, that's cool. I'm glad your friend who you're having lunch with said, listen, those other businesses don't work. It's a one product company. You need to talk to my friend Elizabeth. You never know what, how it's going to all, come
That's
about.
right.
That's, yeah, I'm sure you can go back and thank your friend for that.
Oh, all the time.
Well, Tina, I know, Tina, you've been in the business a little bit longer than Pam. You have a very cool story. And I love, because I learned about it right before the international convention. It was great to have you share your experiences, at that event. I think it's a testament to staying with it, but it's also a testament to just making some small adjustments with respect to the kind of the tasks and activities or the fundamentals that you were executing or weren't executing, but then started to execute and they got the results, But take us back to when you were introduced to the business and how
The
that
first
happened.
time or the second time?
Well, we can go both times if you want. Let's go the first time first.
When I was first introduced to the business, I said no, because like Pam, I had also done multi-level marketing. 31 years ago, I drove a pink car. And
What that is.
yeah, it wasn't free like they told me. It cost me dearly. So I said I would never do one of those things again. So when I first heard it, it was a physician colleague that I had known that sent her. I'm a nurse practitioner, so I was working in my practice, and a physician colleague had sent her nutrimetrics consultant to my office to introduce me to wellness products. And I heard one of those things and I said, no, thank you. I'm gainfully employed. I'm going to retire here and I'm good. And lo and behold, 4 years later, I got laid off when a investment firm bought the practice and it was for profit. I got laid off and I decided I was going to be an entrepreneur then. And I opened my own practice in order to take care of my patients. But lo and behold, I needed help. I needed a physician collaborator to open the practice. And I thought, who's in private practice that could help me? And this name from 4 years prior popped into my head. And so a physician, the physician who tried to recruit me, I ended up recruiting to be my physician collaborator. And she helped me open the practice. And about 6 months in, she said, come with me. And she took me to an unfranchised business presentation. And I was blown away. I said, wow, this isn't one of those things. The concept of the pay plan just blew me away. And I thought, well, I'm a medical professional. I don't know if I'm missing something. This can't work. So I had my husband come with me the next time and evaluate it. And I actually said to him on the ride there that he had one job and one job only, and that was to talk me out of it.
Mm.
Well, he saw what I saw and he said, no, we're not talking you out of it. We're doing this.
Oh,
And
wow. It's because a lot of times the spouse is a little bit negative.
no, he's the
Yeah, that's
business,
awesome.
he's the salesperson, he's the business mind. And he said, this is a no-brainer.
That's awesome.
And it is, right?
And it is, exactly.
So that was the four I got. That's awesome. Wow. I didn't
Yeah.
realize your story. That's great.
Yep, that's so 4 years after I said no, I went to an unfranchised business presentation and I saw the whole system. Initially all I saw was, bringing wellness products into a practice that wasn't mine. And I
Right.
knew my employers would say no. And then I also thought it was one of those things and I didn't need it. I didn't need a supplemental income. I was doing very well.
Right.
And so, and it
But you
changed.
never know.
It was 6 months into owning my practice. And I realized very quickly that, I was only as good as the number of patients coming in the door and what insurance companies decided I was worth.
Yeah.
And they didn't think I was worth very much.
Which they were wrong, but yeah, so you're just saying you took control
Exactly.
over that, and it's true. We think about, ultimately our management performance compensation plan with the referral tracking system is revolutionary. Sometimes that word revolutionary is used a little loosely, but not here. There's no plan that's as lucrative and as realistic as the plan that we have as unfranchised owners with the unfranchised business. I know our chairman, founder, and CEO, JR, he never wanted to be a one product driven business. So I think it happened for both of you. You realize, why would you want to have only one product? If something happens to that product or the market shifts, you got a problem. So JR wanted to be a product brokerage company, to be able to provide almost anything anybody could need or want, so they can convert their spending into earning and get paid for it, and have market-driven products in a variety of multi-billion-dollar categories or industries. And that's what we have. It wasn't always like this.
Yeah.
Back in the beginning, it didn't mean how to have anything, but now we have what we have now. And of course, we're blessed. It would continue to grow and evolve, and it's been a consistent pattern of growth. And so congratulations. And that's a cool story, Tina and Pam. Let's go back to Pam. Talk to us a little bit about Pam of what you were doing, prior to being an unfranchised owner, and what attracted you to the business, when you saw it, when you evaluated it.
Well, and this is kind of a funny story, Andrew. I'm a single mom and I've been doing hair for 35 years. And hairdressers are very, very creative with spending money, but not saving money. And so I had kind of dug myself in a hole. I had more month than money. I know people have heard of that before. I always say go for the greedy, not the needy, but I am so glad the needy got helped on here because I was in need. I actually was trying to pay I was only as good as my last client. And if I would have gotten hurt, I would have been out of business. I would have been really, really backwards. So I was really nervous in the fact that I had all my credit cards maxed out. I had no money in the bank. And I was truly looking. So when I did meet Elizabeth, I trusted the guy that I was at lunch with because he was very successful himself. And so I knew that it was a good connection for me to meet Elizabeth. But actually, truly, Andrew, when I met Elizabeth and she got to know me and I saw her passion for this business after, being in it 20 years, I was like, this is really, I didn't care what it was that we were moving. Her passion was so strong that it really did move me into wanting to do. And another thing that she said that she would match my efforts, Andrew.
And she did.
And she did. And I laugh because I always say that girl has no idea how hard I could work. But she truly did say that she would match my efforts and that she would come out of she would come out of the semi-retirement that she was in and help me. And she literally did that. And so I was super excited because I never had anybody say that they would match my efforts. And another thing is I never had anybody that was of significant amount of value that knew how to help people that would take their time to help me. And then the more I got involved with the business, in the experiences in the businesses I had before, it was very cutthroat. You didn't want to, you didn't want to, if you ever went to a conference or you were kind of like gathering your people around. You didn't want them talking to anybody else. You didn't. And when I saw the family of the Market America and how everybody helps everybody, I'll never forget, we were at the table. It was Elizabeth, her husband, and I had brought a couple of people to that first conference. Actually, Elizabeth and I brought 7 people to that conference, and I had only been signed up for 2 weeks. But I remember Big Al coming up to the table, and he introduced himself, and I truly was like, what's this guy want? Why is he talking to me? And I was kind of watching Elizabeth, and Elizabeth's like, oh my God, exchange numbers. Al, you need to talk to her. And I was like, wow, this is the craziest business ever, because everybody wants to help everybody. And that brings on the point too, Andrea, of the conference coming up. I love the in-person because I would have never gotten to meet Big Al. I would have never gotten to meet, I met you that conference. I met JR, I met Lauren, I met everybody. And so I loved that it just is like a family. And I know some people are like, yeah, sure it is. Okay, well, I've experienced it for 2.5 years now, and it is 100% like a family helping a family. And so
yeah, it's the way it's organized. We're blessed to have this kind of culture, this community, and everybody does help everybody, regardless if they have an economic interest in them or not. That's kind of the culture that was created, almost 30 years ago. And so that's has stayed. It is unique. It is unique.
Right. Well, in my story too, I think it was kind of funny because when I asked Elizabeth, it was summertime and she was like, we're not going to work until after the conference. So I said, what is the next step, Elizabeth? What would you like me to do? She said, get a ticket to the next conference and we'll start after that. And I said, no, let's start tomorrow. So she actually, during the summer, was doing all of that. But Andrew, was I going to say, no, I don't have any money, I can't do this? I found that money. I was going to find that money because I was like, I have found the way. I didn't care how much it cost. She said that was the next step. I wanted to grow and I wanted to get this business going. And so I found that $200. I thank the Lord that she said, pay my sister, because it gave me a day or two to get the money in my account.
Well, that's what a great thing. More importantly than you getting the ticket and attending, you also had, you said 7 people be with you at that first event, which you were only introduced to the business, what is like a month or 2 before the international convention, and the fact that you got 7 people there, what you set in motion carries in motion. Look what's happened. It's a big part of getting that foundation built, and also set that in motion with the new people that you brought into the business right from the very beginning. So they only knew one way to do it, which was attending the next major event. So it was phenomenal. Hi there.
Hi.
You want to say, Lauren?
I just came to say hi to you guys.
And I think.
Hi.
Hey, Lauren.
How are you? Oh no, I'm trying to fix.
We're great.
Which also, I was just hearing Pam's story, and I think of course,
Pam has a great story.
Pam and Tina are both new professional coordinators. But what's cool
so proud
is
of you
learning
guys.
that when Pam was introduced to the business, of course, Elizabeth Weber said, your next step is ticket to the international convention, because that was the next event coming up. So she was just saying, I was happy that it said, you pay my sister a couple of days later. She gave it a couple of days to get the money. And she had 7 people at that first
That's
event.
the best thing she could have done.
Well,
you cannot explain to somebody what happens at an event, right? You cannot teach what you do not know. You cannot lead where you will not go. And that's why we do what we do. And I think people, think, oh, well, I'll just, hear about it when everybody gets home. And that's not what it doesn't work. It's like,
Exactly.
you can't get the knowledge you need. That's why I always tell, if somebody's really serious about this business, the most important thing they can do is get to the event.
Yes.
It's really the shortcut to success, because, it cuts down, like, it's like getting a year's worth of education in a weekend. And it really is. And so I know, people always say, oh, I want to do something. I want to change my life. I want to make something happen, but yet they won't commit to a single weekend. And it really blows my mind, because, oftentimes you're like, yeah, you won't go. Do you know what I mean? But the ones who do go always come out fired up with the experience, with the knowledge, with the information that they need in order to succeed. It's not just a rah-rah event. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's more of, let me get everything I need in a weekend, and, get your tape recorders out, your notes, your phone memos, and you kind of get it all in a weekend. And I always tell people, if you really want to jumpstart your success, there's no faster way. There's no other shortcut. And there's no shortcut to success. What this does is it gives us a game plan, a blueprint for success, a running path, a place to go, and information, the newest up-to-date information about the company and what's happening.
Exactly. So,
and I think that's so important. And I think, Pam, from somebody who's had, the experience of what it was like to, that money must have just been just like, oh my God. And I get it. It's like when you spend that money and you know that you don't have it. Well, let me tell you something. That's why you made it. That's why you're a professional coordinator, because people who really have the desire to make something happen, don't worry about the money. Don't worry about, how long it'll take to drive there or fly there. We've all been there. Our story is very similar. So, the truth of the matter is that what you really want determines how bad you want it, and you wanted it bad enough. That's why you're here. I mean, that $49 that you had in your pocketbook, that was everything.
Exactly right.
And the fact that you took that and invested in yourself, not in Market America, not in shop.com, but invested in you.
That's good.
In order to get where you are today. I think that's huge, and I think that's a great tribute to you and your success, and Tina as well, for hitting professional coordinator. I think, I always say it's the hardest level in the business, right? Because you're not only hitting a pin level for yourself, but you're helping two other people get there. And I think that's what's so important about hitting that level. People don't understand, sometimes it's easier to go from like a national supervising to a director, but getting to professional is really tough and challenging.
Significant achievement.
Super significant, super important, super proud of you guys. And it's actually the real step to big success with the company. And you guys are just beginning. You're just on your way. And I think, I don't even know how many people you guys have online. I just heard Andrew talking down I was walking to my room and I heard Andrew talking. How many people do you have?
We have a lot. We're also broadcasting on Facebook.
Oh, nice.
And this followed. We had a great session with Jim Winkler earlier about converting spending into earning. But
that's awesome.
But this is awesome because Pam and Tina, great new professional coordinators. Tina's gonna be moving to Florida.
Oh, great.
Soon,
Where?
Sarasota area, Lakewood Ranch.
Awesome. That's so great.
Yeah, we're excited.
The business.
And my whole family's down there.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, where else can you just pick up and move and be with your family and do what you want to do when you want to do it? And I think that's the real, when you talk about going to an event and you talk about what you did in order to get to the event, to sacrifice everything, to borrow money that you didn't have, to do those things is exactly why you can do the things you want to do right now.
Exactly.
And I always tell people, if you're willing to pay the price for success, which is never easy, everybody wants something free, and there's nothing that's free. There's no rainbows without rains, and there's no great marriages without work. And I don't care what anybody says, anything else other than the truth is a lie, because the truth of the matter is everything takes work, anything worth having. And I know that this business is worth having. It's at the right time, the right place to be right now, where so many people are looking for a better way. They're tired of working for corporate America and they want to have their own thing. And this gives somebody the opportunity to have their own thing without having to do it alone.
Exactly.
And that's what the thing I really love most about our business is that you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. You know, the fact that you get to come to an event with your team and cheer each other on. I don't know many companies where, you know, camaraderie is such a huge factor here for somebody to get to the next level. And the education is not just at that event, but it's ongoing because your team wants you to make it. Where in corporate America, of course, we have to, you know, pull other people down the ladder in order to get to the top of the ladder.
Exactly.
And that really stinks. You know what I mean?
You know, Lauren, we have a lot of people who've tuned in from different parts of the world. I know most people know who you are, but it's worth noting, if you don't know who this is our co-founder and senior executive vice president, Lauren Ridinger. I happen to be here. We
I
work
just happen
together.
to be Andrew's roommate tonight in my house. So I heard him talking and I was like, oh, let me go over there and say hi to everybody. I had no idea exactly what you were doing, but I think and you know, he never always like, oh, I'm doing this if you ever want to drop in. And I, you know, he never really gives me too much information, but I'm glad it's you guys because we're celebrating you.
Exactly.
It's such a big time for you guys. It's such a special moment. I know that Jared and I are both so proud of you guys. And I know, Pam, you've waited a long time for this. So, you know, I think it's
just the beginning too. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just the beginning. It's the real stepping stone to real success in this business. And because you're helping other people. And that's the thing. I think for me, it's like, not only do you get to grow, but I think when you can actually help other people and you make it, it's a big deal. And that's what we offer. And I think, you know, I truly don't know any companies who can actually say that. But I can tell you this, if you have not heard Tina or Pam's story, you should. If you've done it, have you done that tonight?
Pam just told us her story. We're getting ready to talk to Tina, but you don't need to sit here for the
No, but I was just telling you, I think that's important for them to hear because nobody gets to this level without going to the event.
Without question.
Nobody gets to this level without showing up an event. It's just inevitable. Nobody gets to succeed without trying. Nobody gets to make it without putting in the work. Nobody has rainbows without rain.
Exactly.
And I think it's really important. So if you really want to make something happen, if you're new in the business and you're just getting started, I can tell you there's no faster, shorter cut to get there. And you're working with two powerful players who we're incredibly proud of at a great pin level. So glad I jumped on for a minute.
Yeah,
tonight.
no, we'll look forward to seeing.
Never missed a major event, Lauren.
No, that's so important.
From Massachusetts, and it's always involves airfare and hotels because I'm in Massachusetts and you know, 10 years, never missed a major event.
Now, like when we think about back then, it's just funny. I want to just jump out what she said. Tina's right. At first, when you first get started, you think about, okay, I got to get the hotel room, got to get the airfare, got to drive, put gas in the car. And let me just tell you something. She said that for a reason, because if you're new, you're probably thinking, oh, I got to get a hotel room, I got to drive, or I got to, you know, get an airfare. Let me tell you something. When we do it once, we can't wait to do it again. Can't wait to do it again. It's actually one of the most incredibly fun experiences of a lifetime. Besides that, it's life-changing, educational, informative, with all the latest, the newest information you get at first. And I think it's really important because we spend a whole year working on giving you everything we have. And it's not just hearing from our team, but it's hearing from field leaders and how they did it and how they achieved success. So I think what she said is super important because I think, as you often know, somebody is always in their mind going, well, why can't I do this? Well, I have to drive. You know, I'm worried about COVID. I'm worried about this. I'm not sure we'll ever be out of COVID. So what are you going to do?
Right.
You're going to just stop growing, stop doing. This is the best way to achieve success. It's the shortest cut I know to get there. And if you really want to do it, and you're not just on this call because somebody made you get on it, you really want to make a difference, you need to show up.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
It's a new city, new venues, gonna be new energy. It's gonna be a whole new experience.
I think the energy is going to be
gonna
better.
be awesome. Me too.
I think the energy is going to be better because we're all so excited just to get out there, right? So I think that's the good news. And I think I'm looking forward to it. We're almost there. I mean, I feel like
we have a little work to do, but yeah.
We have a little work. We always have work. I've never known us not to have work to do till the minute of, but you know, it's work we love to do.
Yeah, it's going to be
And
fun.
I think it's work that the field loves to do. When you get to work with the people you want to work with products you love and people want and need, and you get to make money with your friends, your family, and new friends. It's really a phenomenal way, just simply by getting involved in the business, saying yes, you get to be a part of a whole entire new community. You get to be a part of something totally different, connected with people where competition is not an issue except fun. and you get to grow together as people, and you have a group of new friends, a camaraderie, an army of people who support and want you to make it. And I think that's what makes us so incredibly special, simply by saying, yes, you can be part of a new community and on your way to success, and everything can change in a moment. But you have to make that commitment, because if you say to yourself, oh, I'm going to do the business, but guess what? I'm too busy. I can't get on that weekend. I got to watch my son play soccer. Not that that's not important. Listen, I have children too. I have grandchildren, and watching them do things is super important to me. But I also know in the beginning, when I had to make it and we had no money, let me tell you something. We did whatever it took to make it. There was no fun nights. There were no movie nights. There was no party nights. I sacrificed a lot of nights in order to get where I am today, in order to get where this company is today with my husband. And I got to tell you, when I go back and look at it, never was it a real sacrifice. We did exactly what we wanted to do and get where we wanted to go. Why? Because of what Tina said. Once you go to one, you don't want to stop going to them. You've built a whole new army of friends. Like, it's really hard to meet people, Andrew, as you know. I mean, it's right.
You think so?
No, I know you have a hard time. It's hard to date. It's hard. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, you said it's hard to date. It's hard to do things. It is during COVID. And but it is.
Yeah,
it's a hard time to meet people. But the great thing about the business,
unique time.
I don't know anybody who's not friends with everybody, whether they're in their organization or not, and working with their team or not. Everybody cares about everybody in this company. That's the way I think the way the world should be. It's been a very stressful time over the last 2 years. I feel like, there's a lot going on. So kindness goes really far. We never really know what people are going through. And I feel like, we're one of the nicest companies because we do care, and we do want to make a difference, and we do want to help other people make it. So I hope to see you there in person.
I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to seeing you in person. I feel you jumping through, Tina. I'm with you. And I feel like it's an important opportunity for all of you. So commit to it, be there, do it for yourself. So often, so many times people say, well, you know what, I'm going to do it because she asked me to do it, or Andrew told me to do it. I don't want you to do it for us. I want you to do it for you. I really want you to do it for you, because if you really care enough about yourself and you really want to make something happen, you're not going to do it for somebody else. You're going to really do it for you, to prove yourself that you can do it. It's the start of a new year. We're still in January. Most people, ask Andrew and I often, what were your New Year's goals? Andrew and I and JR don't make New Year's goals, because we make goals every single week. We hit goals every single month. And most people, all they do January 1st is make a bunch of commitments to themselves that they never keep. And all I'm asking you to do is make a commitment to yourself that you've already said you've committed to, by showing up, by doing the right thing, by learning the things you need to do. And the only way to do that is to be there at the event. It's not about selling a ticket, because if you don't have the money, we'll help you get there. It's not about the money. If you ain't got the money, it's not about getting the money to get there. We'll help you in some form or fashion. Trust me, nobody's going to say no to you, but it's about you making the effort to be there, to show up. That's what the most important thing is. So with that, I probably took up all your time.
No, it's great. We still have a little bit of time left. There's a few other questions I want to ask Tina and Pam, but
you have questions for them?
Welcome. Yeah, I'm very organized.
Oh, you have questions?
Yeah,
I'm listening to one of your questions.
Yeah. So, well, Pam just talked to us about, what attracted her to the business, and why she got started to turn to Tina on that. They talked about how they were introduced to the business. Now it's like, what really attracted you to the business, and what got you going, Tina?
Well, initially, like I said, as soon as I saw that business plan, I was blown away and said, this is a no-brainer. We have to do it. And my husband was very supportive and said, yes, we're going to do this. Initially, it was so I could keep my health center open. It was a way of helping my patients, because when I opened my health center, I wanted to practice the way I believed and spend time with my patients. And insurance model doesn't allow me to spend time. So I had a choice. I could either take care of my patients my way, or I could make a living. I couldn't do both with that health center. So this allowed me to do both, and help my patients get healthier with our products. So it really was. And then I started working with health professionals along the way, and that's what kind of propelled me. And when it came to conventions, when I went to that first one, like you said, Lauren, I was hooked. There was no way I was going to miss one. And I knew I had to take people with me. So that became my mission, was to get people to convention step by step. First the local seminars, then the conventions. And I would work with them and say, I know there's a lot of reasons why you probably can't go. Let's find the way that you can go. Let's stop focusing on all that stuff of what's going to prevent you from going. Let's figure out how we're going to get you there. We've got 3 months, we've got 2 months, whatever it is. And that's how I've been able to get people there. And of course, I had to have my tickets in advance. And, I was doing well. So it's like, you know what, if you need to pay me in installments, the most important thing is I've got to get you there.
Exactly.
And once we got them there, I've often offered, I said, if you don't get some, 2 nuggets about life, then, I'll give you your money back.
Yeah. And
So-
nobody's asked for their money back.
It's
Never
nobody has-
had to.
Never
Had to. And, it really, and then once I get them there, they're hooked as much as I am. And
Yeah,
just
sure.
like you said, Lauren, that camaraderie, that family, the love, and it's just, and to see what the corporate team does for us. I've gone to conventions, I've been a nurse practitioner for 35 years. I had to go to conferences and CEUs, and, we paid $1,000 just for the conference.
Right.
And, we got a couple little nuggets maybe, but nothing about life. And so this is, $200, there's no better way to spend your money.
And
Oh,
as you
for
know, you
sure.
can't give somebody that experience. They have to experience it for themselves,
Yeah.
So let's go back to Pam. Pam, talk to us a little bit about what you think the greatest benefit you've experienced since you became an unfranchised owner through your short journey so far in the business. What's the greatest benefit you've experienced so far?
Well, that has been my number one experience. And I love saying that, Andrew. I make fairly good money doing hair. But I just was trying to get into a new position. But I love the fact that we can bring anybody into this business and they apply the steps to success and then they can get there. And so that is just truly my favorite part of this business, is the fact that my 84-year-old dad has got his unfranchised and my 20-year-old son has his unfranchised. So, in between, everybody can do this if they just have a dream and a passion to go forward. And I do feel like that, Elizabeth was really significant on saying that is truly the first step. And like Lauren said, you're going to save time. And I remember Elizabeth, she's just so wise, and I didn't know much about this. I knew about the industry of home-based businesses, but I didn't know this business. And so she said, Pam, she said, I got a great tip. She said, the more people you can get to this conference, the less work you have to do training, because they're going to do all the training for you. And, and Tina was talking about what all you do on the back end. You guys, I got to experience it firsthand last August, because that was I got to speak on stage. So I got to be in the back area. And, the one thing of the audience that are listening right now, they're not doing this to get money in their pocket, right? These events are not for the benefit of Market America. This is for a benefit to grow your business. And, when I showed the plan the other night for my first time, my first UBP, the best thing that we can say is that we have this amazing billion-dollar company that backs us with over 850 employees working on our behalf. I am not going to be anywhere else except for this conference, because you guys are working so hard for our businesses to succeed. So there is nothing better. And I truly saw it firsthand. I mean, there's machines, there's action. I mean, Lauren has her hands in it. Andrew has his hands in it.
A lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and for our benefit. That is huge to me.
Yeah, believe me, the work goes in long before we ever arrive at the event. So we're getting now, and that's all that showing up is the easy part, right?
Yeah,
we always say,
exactly.
we always tell each other that the showing up's the easy part. The work goes in as of now, right?
Exactly.
So January 30th, we really kick it in hard. But I think it's
well said.
important for you guys to understand that you are in the right place, like I said, at the right time. And I love what Pam said. I think it's supplementing their income, working part-time, full-time. When I go back and I think about all the successful leaders in this company, most of them started out full-time, but didn't last for more than a month because they were already on their way.
Correct.
When you start to feel a little bit of success, it's like anything. when you start to feel a little success and see a little success, you got to push harder. Most people slow down. I'm like, oh, this is easy. Just push a little harder. If you just starting to feel the momentum, you guys have been doing the calls with them. You guys have been online. You guys have been, learning. Now's the time to really put in the work.
Exactly.
Put in the work, show up for yourself. It's not about us. It's about you. What we're going to deliver is going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing for anybody who wants to grow their business to another level, but you showing up is what you need to do for you.
Amen. Amen. So I guess we'll just wrap with maybe let Tina share
Yes,
what her greatest benefit that you've experienced, as an unfranchised owner. I think it's great when you came on, because a lot of the discussion that would have happened maybe toward the end has already happened. It's perfect.
I hope that was okay.
That's awesome. So talk to us.
For me, in addition to the family that I have, everybody, it's been 10 years and I've just made more friends, more family. But it's really been the time freedom. So I was really doing well before, when I was employed as a nurse practitioner. And then when I opened my practice, it was really the practice owned me. And so now it's been a blessing to have time freedom to, like I said, see the patients the way I wanted to do, work when I wanted to do it, because I had my supplemental income. I didn't have to work 5 days a week in my clinic. I was able to work 3 days a week. And now I have 4 grandchildren and babies, all under the age of 2.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So I'm able to help my daughter with her one that's local. I'm able to help with watch my grandbabies 2 days a week, and more time on helping people get well through my Market America business.
Wow.
What a story,
That's
Tina.
beautiful.
That's such an amazing story.
So time freedom and to claim my own time to be with my family.
You know what? I think that's so important. I mean, I think she just nailed it. It's really about
100%.
controlling your time. What she just said couldn't be ring truer. I mean, it couldn't be truer. And I don't think people really value that as much as they should, because people think we have unlimited time. Well, I'm young, I have time to do this. Nobody knows when, the good Lord's going to call us. But my point is this: when you do something with the time, you get to control it. And that's really, really, really important. Somebody said to me just moments before I came over to you, I was getting a message from Steve Gold, who's a good friend of mine, who's on that, Millionaire Listing, the Bravo show. And he's actually trying to sell my New York apartment. He said, hey, I have a guy who wants to rent your apartment. Can he rent it for 6 months? And he would need it like in 2 weeks. And I was like, you know what? I just don't have any time to go up there and get my stuff out. I don't have any time, and I don't like other people to do that for me. I like to get my own stuff out, pack it myself, know where it is. And I thought, you know what, my time is much more important right now, and my time is much more valuable than that money it is to rent right now. I'm gonna have to say no, because when you can physically say no to money, but yes to yourself, you're really in control of your future. And most people are not in control of their future. Most people are not. They have to show up for work. They have to show up for the job. And the thing is, if you would just show up for you, like you show up for your job and you show up for the money you're trying to collect, you would actually need it to make a lot of money a long time ago.
Well, and I think, so it's not about the money, it's what the money can enable you to do. And in this
100%.
business, with the supplemental income that can be created, enables you to have that control that you're talking about and that you just talked about, Tina.
Gives you
And that's very, very
the
special.
freedom to
Most
make
people don't
choices.
experience that. Yeah, freedom to
So,
make choices, exactly.
freedom
And
to
It's
take
so
control.
choices.
important. It's so important.
Be able to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, and where you want. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's called freedom.
It's really called freedom.
But thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, guys.
And
That
I
was
want to thank
amazing.
you, Pam, and Tina, for taking your time to share your thoughts, your experiences. It was
And I
really a
never
great
get
session.
tired of hearing their stories.
No,
I've
it's
heard
really a
Pam's
great
stories
session.
before, and I really enjoyed your story, Tina. I think it's amazing when
thank
you can help your children in many ways, more than just financially, but watching your grandkids, something you love to do. I just think that's so much bigger than people could ever possibly understand. The only way to have it is to be at this event,
So,
commit
yeah,
to yourself and do
Right.
it.
it's February 24th to the 26th in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes.
If you haven't secured your tickets, go ahead and get them now. Nothing else needs to be said.
That's
I think
it.
you guys said it
Look
all.
at that. Look at
Okay.
Tina. She got her tickets.
More
And she's
people.
she's bringing people with her, and I love that.
Exactly. Well, listen, everybody that's tuned in, thank you very much. Stay safe and healthy out there. Look forward to seeing you, hopefully in person, but if not, online at the World Conference at the end of February. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.